Welcome back to the documentary. In this episode, we are going to see Mr. Darcy's character in Pride and Prejudice change from a proud and arrogant man to a caring and agreeable gentleman. Here we will watch as Darcy first interacts in this arrogant manner at a ball. Darcy is unacquainted with anyone except the kind and handsome Mr. Bingley and his sisters, one who is married and the other who is not.
Come, Darcy, I must have you dance. I hate to see you standing all about by yourself in this stupid manner. You must have better dance.
Oh, I certainly shall not. You know how I detest it, unless I'm particularly acquainted with my partner. As such, an assembly as this would be insupportable. Your sisters are engaged, and there is not another woman in this room whom would be a punishment to me to stand up with.
I would not be so fastidious as you are for a kingdom. Upon my honor, I never met with so many pleasant girls in my life as I ever had this evening, and there are several of them you see uncommonly pretty.
Oh, you're dancing with the only handsome girl in the room.
Oh, she is the most beautiful creature I ever beheld. But there is one of her sisters sitting down just behind you, who is very pretty. I dare say very agreeable. Do let me ask my partner to introduce you.
Which do you mean? Oh, she's tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. I'm in no honor and present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. You had better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles, for you are wasting your time with me.
As you can see, in the beginning, Darcy is very rude and unsocial. He speaks only with those he already knows and puts down the handsomest of girls in the room, including the lively Lizzy Bennets. However, as time progresses, we see the change in Darcy's manner. As shown in the following, with Darcy's inclination towards Lizzy, his manner became astonishingly civil when they accidentally met in Pemberley. When hearing the tragedy happen to Lizzy's family, Darcy felt sad for her and strongly concerned about her.
Oh my gosh! Oh, where is my uncle? Where is my uncle?
Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
I beg your pardon, but I must leave you. I must find Mr. Gardiner this moment on business that cannot be delayed. I don't have an instant to lose.
Oh, good God. What is the matter? Oh, I promise I would not detain you a minute, but let a servant go after Mr. and Mrs. Gardiner. You are not well enough. You cannot go yourself.
Could you fetch me my aunt and uncle, please?
Oh, let me call your maid. Oh, is there nothing you could take to give you present relief? A glass of wine? Shall I get you one? You're very ill.
No, I thank you. There's nothing the matter with me. I'm quite well. I'm only distressed by some dreadful news I've just received from Longbourn.
Oh.
I have just had a letter from my sister Jane with dreadful news. It cannot be concealed from anyone. My young sister has left all of her friends, has eloped, has thrown herself into the power of Mr. Wickham. They are gone off together from Brighton. You know him too well to doubt the rest. She has no money, no connections, nothing that can tempt him to. She's lost forever. When I consider that I might have presented it, I who knew what he was, had I explained but some of it to my family, oh, had his character been known, this could not have happened at all, but it is all too late now.
Oh, I'm grieved. I'm grieved indeed and shocked, but is it certain, absolutely certain?
Oh yes, they left Brighton together on Sunday night and were traced almost to London, but not beyond. They are certainly not gone to Scotland.
And what has been done? I mean, what has been attempted to cover her?
My father has gone to Longbourn, to London, and Jane has written to beg my uncle's immediate assistance, and we shall be off, I hope, in a half hour. But nothing can be done. I know very well that nothing can be done. How is such a man to be worked on? How are they even to be discovered? I have the smallest hope. It is in every way horrible. When my eyes were opened to his real character, oh, had I known what I ought, what I dared to do, but I knew not. I was afraid of doing too much. Wretched, wretched mistake.
I'm afraid you have been long desiring my absence, nor have I anything to plead in excuse my stay. But real, though unveiling concern, would to heaven that anything could be either said or done on my part that might offer consolation to such distress. But I will not torment you with vain wishes, which may seem purposely to ask for your thanks. This unfortunate affair will, I fear, prevent my sisters having the pleasure of seeing you at Primberley today.
In this scene, you can truly see how Darcy has a developed feeling toward Lizzy and cares for her well-being, and the well-being of her family even makes Lizzy feel better. Finally, we can see Darcy has realized that he cannot judge someone from a first glance, because once he talked to Lizzy, he realized just how similar they were. In his last scene, you can see that Darcy has truly realized how similar and perfect Lizzy and him are.
Mr. Darcy, I'm a very selfish creature, and for the sake of giving relief to my own feelings, are not how much I may be wounding yours. I can no longer help thanking you for your unexampled kindness towards my poor sister. Ever since I have known it, I've been most anxious to acknowledge how grateful I feel it. Were it known to the rest of my family, I should not have merely my own gratitude to express.
I'm sorry, exceedingly sorry, that you have ever been informed of what may, in a mistaken light, have given you uneasiness. I did not think Mrs. Gardiner was so little to be trusted.
You must not blame my aunt. Lydia's thoughtlessness first betrayed me that you had been concerned in the matter, and of course I could not rest till I knew the particulars. But let me thank you again and again, in the name of all my family, for that generous compassion which induced you to take so much trouble and bear so many mortifications for the sake of discovering them.
If you will thank me, let it be yourself. That the wish of giving happiness to you may add force to the other inducement which led me on. I should not attempt to deny, but your family owe me nothing. Much as I respect them, I believe I thought only of you. You are too generous to trifle with me. If your feelings are still what they were last April, let me sow at once. My affections and wishes are unchanged, but one word from you will silence me on this subject forever.
Oh, my feelings have been totally changed. Your affections are returned.
Oh, I do truly love you.
And I truly love you.
Well, what a happy ending. However, similar things may also happen in the modern time. If it happens in school, it will probably be issues about friendship. It happened in the few days after school started and everyone did not closely know each other. Apple just got a bad grade on her first test. Without a friend to talk to, she was surrounded by sadness and loneliness.
Things are going so irksome. I'm alone. I don't know anyone. Even worse, I got a terrible grade on my first test.
Hey, how are you? What's your name? Do you know that I am so happy today? I got a good score on my first test. And we're going to have pizza for lunch. Do you know how much I love pizza? Well, of course you don't have to answer because everyone likes it. I love it so much.
Stop. Pizza is disgusting. Go away.
Oh. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I just met Apple. Do you know her? She's a rude person, I may tell you. I've talked to her, but she was very mean and cold when talking to me, and even asked me to go away. I've never met someone who's worse than her.
That seems rude indeed. Why does she act like that?
It must be her pride. Just go and look at her eyes, full of isolation, arrogance, and pride. I just think she thinks she's superior than everyone else.
Oh, how terrible I am. I need to change my attitude.
Let's go to lunch.
I have a club meeting, so I can't go with you.
Well, okay, bye.
Are are you doing? Are you going to lunch?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to. No, frankly, I love pizza too, but in this morning I just have a bad mood. So, what is your favorite pizza topping?
Well, it's okay. I love pepperoni. How about you?
Wow, I love pepperoni too. I just love that spicy taste.
It's amazing, yeah. I agree. Unfortunately, all we have is plain cheese pizza today.
Oh, I have some pepperoni pizza in my lunchbox. We can share it.
Actually, she's not that bad or rude or proud. Just having a bad day this morning, didn't feel comfortable talking to me until she actually knew me. Yes, thank you. You are so kind.
Let's go.
See? Happy ending again. In life, we can't judge by our first impression. Most importantly, be composed and proper when talking to others. When noticing about your mistakes or defects, endeavor to change it. Courtesy and humbleness is the key of getting along with others, for both Mr. Darcy and everyone else in the world.
Today we have a special opportunity to speak with Darcy himself. We are here to talk about his personality and how it changed after he met the strong-willed Elizabeth Bennet, who is now Mrs. Darcy.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here today.
Okay, we have some questions for you. What were your feelings towards Mrs. Darcy when you first met her?
Well, in the beginning, I felt as though Miss Elizabeth Bennet, of course now she's Mrs. Darcy, was not good enough for me to dance with especially. She was not pretty enough, I dare say, and I can't tell if she was smart enough, and I was yet to know her strong-minded personality. I thought that I was superior than her just because I was in a higher social class. It was kind of stupid, isn't it?
Okay, and when did you start to really get to know Elizabeth?
Because that Mr. Bingley fancied Lizzy's sister, I was able to see Elizabeth a lot of time, especially in the Netherfield.
And what were your feelings towards Mrs. Darcy towards the beginning?
In the beginning, I didn't know her, but very quickly, I began to fall in love with her. She has a pretty, fine eyes, I dare say, yet it was her spirit that was so fascinating for me. Soon, I was delighted just by the touch of her hands or her smile. She always has a happy mood, yet she had not when she was staying with me first. This was really strange for me because typically women just look at me for my money, but seems like that Lizzy did not like me for my money or my personality.
Speaking of Elizabeth, how do you think she felt about you in the beginning?
Well, I could tell now, like, from the beginning, she did not like me because of my extraordinary prejudice and pride that she discovered from my refusal of dancing in the first ball in Meryton.
What do you think about her feeling towards you had changed?
I'm not pretty sure about that. I was quite defeated after her refusal of my offer. I can confess that I changed my attitude when I met her in Pemberley. I feel like that there wasn't any vexation or unwillingness on her face to talk with me anymore. I am so grateful for her to tell me like my unforgivable pride and defects. My confidence arose when I heard that Lady Catherine told me that Lizzy repelled to make a promise to never get engaged with me. Lizzy is just so lovely, and she would have made such promise if she still didn't like me.
Wow, thank you so much for being here with us today. It was a pleasure to speak to you and see your side of the situation clearly.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. Have a nice day.